Next contest, Monmouth versus Canisius, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. Canisius is -1, total at 149. We did see a half a point fade of Canisius and movement upward on the total. They open as the 1.5 point favorite at home, down to -1. Total open 147, up to 149. Monmouth, 57% of the consensus are leaning toward them. Meanwhile, 56% of the consensus are leaning toward the under. Right now, Monmouth is plus 102 on the money line. They're also 5-3 straight up in their last 8, 13-10 overall for the year. Canisius, on the other side, they're averaging just 69 points per contest, and they're shooting well under 30% from downtown this year. They've lost 5 out of their last 6 games, and in those 6 games, they've successfully covered the point spread in just one of them. A couple more things to add about Canisius. They're allowing 71 points per contest, and they're also 4-5 against the spread on their home court. Now, oddly enough, 6 out of Canisius' last 9 home games did get over the number. Monmouth, 70% to the over in their last 10 themselves. I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me Monmouth +1 and the over 149 in that contest. Next game, Davidson versus St. Bonaventure, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. The Bonnies are -4, total at 130. We did see a half a point fade of the Bonnies and movement downward on the total. Bonaventure open 4.5 down to -4. Total open 131 and a hook, down to 130 even. 61% are leaning St. Bonaventure, 58% shaded toward the over. And right now, Davidson is plus $1.65 on the money line. Kind of torn on this game, really tough to make a concluding argument on either side. Now, Davidson, they're 5-2 straight up in their last 7. Meanwhile, the Bonnies on the other side, 7-3 straight up at home, so very good as the home team. We're also looking at a Davidson team on the other side. They're averaging 72 points per game, but the Bonnies, they're giving up just 64 points per game. So if you want to find out who I'm picking, who I'm leaning toward in this game, this is currently my daily best play. Sign up for my daily best play on my website at patreon.com/frogpage to find out who I'm picking to cover the spread in that game. Now, total-wise, we're looking at a Davidson team who's 4-2 to the under in their last 6. Meanwhile, the Bonnies are 6-3 to the under at home. So I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the under 130 in this game. And once again, if you want to see who I'm picking on the sides, just sign up for my Patreon website. Today is the daily best play on this game. All right, next matchup. It is going to be Quinnipiac taking on St. Pete, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in that game. St. Pete's is -4.5, total 132 and a hook. We saw a 1-point fade of St. Peter's and a 3-point move downward on the total. St. Pete's open 5.5, down to -4.5, total open 135 and a hook, down to 132 and a half. 52% are leaning Quinnipiac, 54% on the under. Right now, the Bobcats of QU, they are plus $1.70 on the money line. And of course, if you like QU in this game, just keep in mind they've won just 3 out of their 9 road games. They've also dropped 6 out of their last 8 games at any location. They're averaging just 67 points per contest on the road, and they're shooting just 41% from the field at any location. St. Pete's on the other side, 6-2 straight up in their last 8. They also successfully covered the point spread in 6 out of those 8 games. They're allowing just 65 points per contest on their home court. Meanwhile, their opponents are shooting just 40% from the field at St. Peter's. Now, total-wise, Quinnipiac's 3-0 to the under in their last 3. They're also 8-3 to the under away from home. I'm going to lean St. Peter's -4.5 and the under 132 and a hook in that game. Next matchup, Manhattan taking on Iona, 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off. The Gales of Iona, they are actually favored in this game. They are -2.5, total at 135. We saw a 1-point fade of Iona and movement upward on the total. The Gales open 3.5, down to -2.5. Total open 134 and a hook, up to 135. 60% are leaning Manhattan, 52% on the over. Right now, Manhattan is plus $1.25 on the money line. Now, if you like Manhattan in this game, they are 3-0 straight up in their last 3 games. They successfully covered the point spread in all 3 of those victories. Manhattan ranks in the top 45 in the country in points allowed. They're also in the top 40 in defensive field goal percentage. They're allowing 63 points per contest. Iona on the other side, losers of 5 out of their last 7 home games. They also went just 1-6 against the spread in those contests. They're allowing 73 points per contest on average on their home court. Now, total-wise, Iona 60% to the under in their last 10. Meanwhile, 5 out of Manhattan's last 8 stayed under the number as well. I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Give me Manhattan plus 2.5 and the under 135 in that game. Next and final matchup for the show, it is going to be Illinois-Chicago taking on Wright State. 9 o'clock Eastern tip-off. Wright State is minus 11, total at 147.5. We did see a half a point fade of Wright State and movement downward on the total. They opened 11.5 down to minus 11. Total opened 148 down to 147 and a hook. 53% are leaning UIC, 59% on the over. Right now, Illinois-Chicago's plus 535 on the money line. Now they're just, let's try that again, Brock. What am I trying to say here? UIC, Illinois-Chicago. They're just 4-8 straight up on the road. They're also averaging just 67 points per contest. Wright State on the other side, 6-1 straight up in their last 7, 12-2 straight up on their home court. Guys, listen up here. Wright State ranks in the top 5 in scoring on average per game in the country. Top 5 in scoring, top 15 in offensive rebounding. They're averaging 84 points per game on average. Now, no real surprise here. Wright State's 3-0 to the over in their last 3. Meanwhile, 5 out of their last 6 got over the number as well. I'm going to lean toward the home chalk in this one. Give me Wright State minus 11 and the over 147.5 in that game. And no shout-outs today. Forgot to write them down on the paper. I guess we'll cover the shout-outs in the NHL portion of my uploads. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. Once again, don't forget to check me out on patreon.com/BrockPage, where we do daily premium sports picks on that website, beginning at just $1.99 per month. Coming off another winning day yesterday on that site. But most importantly, guys, I got to thank you for joining me right here on YouTube. I really hope you enjoyed all this great free content, all this great free information. Happy Friday to you. Best of luck to you. And I look forward to seeing you later on today on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage.